Hi guys, it's Arcus here again of What I've Been Watching, and today I'm taking a review at Pokémon the movie I Choose You. So I'm a really big fan of the Pokémon franchise and I've followed it even since the first season of the series back in 97 or 98. It's been quite a while and I've enjoyed the series so much. I mean, I grew up with Pokémon, it's such a beloved thing to me personally, and therefore I really enjoy these kind of movies and the entire universe as well. So I was really happy when they decided to make this movie because it's sort of a more an origin story, and I'm a little bit confused as to why they released it now, since they have already explained all of the origin in the series throughout the first seasons. But I get why they did it, because they wanted to introduce it to a lot of new fans that maybe haven't watched the series from the beginning, and as well update the visuals and everything. They come so far from the first couple of seasons in the series where there are a lot of still pictures and a lot of voice dialogue, but now we're into fully animated territory, so it's really different, but somehow they made it work. And at first I was a little bit skeptic and scared that they were going to do exactly what was happening in the series, because the movie starts off exactly as the series does, with him waking up and everything, the build up towards him getting his Pokemon and all that. It was almost the same as in the first episode of the series, if you watched it, but they did a couple of twists to it, so it didn't exactly mean the same. And then they went out on their adventure, and I love that they kept the part where he drags him in the rope and trying to get him to go with him, because Pikachu really refuses to do it. So I really enjoyed that they incorporated that part into the movie as well. And there, after that, it went a completely different way from the series. And I really enjoyed this because it built up some new characters, and it wasn't a repetition of all something we already knew. So this was really exciting, and I'm guessing it's really good for new fans as well of the series and old times as well to get a good origin story. And even though it was a long time ago since I watched it, it was nice to get a new freshen up on what happened and how come Ash and Pikachu have such a strong bond together. And as always with Pokemon movies, the entire theme of it is friendship, which they really incorporated really well in this movie. And I was actually so sad towards the ending of the movie when they show that Ash actually sacrificed himself in order to save Pikachu. And I was a little bit shocked that they decided to go this way, because I thought that this was a kid-friendly movie. But they brought him back and everything, but I was still a bit shocked that they decided to do it, but I get why they did it, and did it in such an amazing way that I actually really liked it. So, other than that, the movie went really fast. There were a lot of interesting things in it, a lot of great characters. I love the side characters in this movie because they felt sort of, I won't say unique, but they were in their own way. It didn't remind me of any of the characters in the series, really. So that was a nice new fresh take on it, and I was really happy about that. And just the entire way they decided to introduce the legendary Pokemon. We got to see Raikou, Suicune, and Entei a bit. We got to see Ho-Oh as the main legendary of the film, which is exciting because that's one of the first legendaries that they actually decided to release with the series in the first games. So that was really nice as well, and we got to see some glimpse of Team Rocket in it. But I mean, I love them in the series, but therefore I was a bit disappointed that they didn't do anything in the movie. They were just there to please the fans, I guess, and just to show up, because they didn't interact with anyone. They were on a screen for a bit. They were sneaking around and everything, but then they either flew away into the air like they always do, or they were falling down the cliff. So that was a bit disappointing, because I would like to see some interaction with them, and with Ash and the gang, or even with someone else. So that was a bit sad, but other than that, the movie was really great. And I mean, I'm just so impressed by how far they've come with the CGI and visuals and everything in these movies compared to where they were in the beginning. So it was really exciting. But one of the things in the movie that kept confusing me was, this was supposed to be an origin story of Ash picking up, choosing Pikachu and everything, but somehow they still incorporated Pokemon from later generations, which I thought was really weird because it didn't add up with the time period. I mean, I'm guessing, but therefore it was a bit confusing because they didn't exist in the beginning when the series was created. And even though, I mean, I get why it makes sense because Pokemon is a big expanding world, so it should not come as a surprise that these Pokemon actually exist at the same place, but I felt like they should have just stuck to the Gen 1 Pokemon. Because, like, for one example is when, I don't remember his Ash rival, he finds him quite early. It's the trainer who abandons Charmander. And by the way, this scene was so heartbreaking for me. I almost actually started crying because I was so moved by, Charmander wanted to go to his trainer, but the trainer wouldn't have him. And this was really sad, and I was really happy to see how Ash, took him in and therefore later evolved into the Charizard that we became in love throughout this series as well. So, but either way, that trainer, he had an Incineroar, which is a Pokemon that was introduced in, I believe it was Sun and Moon, or maybe it was a bit earlier, but it was quite late, almost like Gen 6 or 7, so therefore it was quite weird for me that they decided to include it in this movie, because I felt like they should have just stuck to the Gen 1 generation, but, I mean, it was not like it was hard to watch in order to keep up with it, because I get, like, they exist in the same world, but I think they should have just stuck to the Gen 1 in order for it to make sense, since they already have some of it with the series, that it follows Ash throughout the different regions, and these Pokemon actually did not exist in this region yet. So, that's just one of the criticisms that I think towards the movie. Otherwise, it was a great movie. I really enjoyed watching it, and as Pokemon with Almost, it's just so exciting to see the battles and what Pokemon they decide to include in the movie, and it's just a really enjoyable experience to watch. So therefore my rating for it is an 8 out of 10. I mean, it's not like one of the best Pokemon movies I've ever seen, but it's definitely up there, and it set a good origin story straight for Ash, for those who did not know it as well and haven't followed the series for quite a while. So therefore, I really enjoyed it. I'm curious to see what you thought about the movie, so drop a comment down below, will you? And leave a like if you did enjoy this video. And as always, if you have anything you want me to review next or any questions, leave a comment down below. As always, this has been Arcus, signing off.